Infigo have introduced the ability to select a delivery time during the checkout process, which works in conjunction with the delivery date picker, which is also available. This information can also be sent onward to Tharstern for users that are utilizing the Connect Tharstern plugin. So to begin, we're going to navigate to our order settings. And then we're going to scroll down to the checkout flow set of options. Now on here, we're looking for an option which is called Show Delivery Date Selection. And we want to make sure that that one is checked on. Now this option adds an additional step to the one-page checkout, allowing the user to specify a specific delivery date. When a specific date is selected during the checkout process, the dispatch by and deliver by dates will be set accordingly. And we'll actually see this on the front end a little bit later on. Okay, so with that in place, make sure you click Save. Some of the other settings I'm going to talk about now will probably move to this location as well in a future deployment. So if you can't find them in the next place I'm going to mention, look in here for the next steps I'm going to talk about. So next we'll go to the delivery settings. And then we're going to go down to delivery date. Now what you'll see by default is probably something like this, where the only option within delivery date is turned off. And this is show order delivery date in OPC. This setting shows the order delivery date within the one-page checkout delivery step. And again, we'll see this later on. As this stands at the moment, we'll need to turn this on. In a future deployment, it may not specifically be necessary to turn on this particular setting, and that gives us access to the enable time selection settings. Now this is the one which may eventually be moved to the order settings that I showed you a few moments ago. So we're going to enable the time settings. When enabled, this setting displays a time selection input on the same screen as the date selection during the checkout process. This function will only be utilized when the date picker is activated, so the option that we saw in the previous step. Once that time selection is enabled, we see that there's a few other options become available. These allow you to define things such as the available delivery start and end times, as well as available time increments for delivery. We also have the ability to allow the selection of any time. This will indicate if the customer will have the option to include any time selection during that checkout process. With those configured, click on Save. And now we're going to navigate to the front end of the storefront to have a look at this functionality. So I'm just going to proceed through our checkout process. So when we get to the delivery methods page, the first change from the norm that we'll see here is this series of boxes underneath your available delivery methods. This is a result of the show order delivery date in OPC option that we enabled within the delivery settings. When we click continue, the next page will be the delivery date page, which is also displayed. This is shown as a result of one of those options that we enabled. What we'll also see due to our configured settings is the ability to select a delivery time. So users can select a specific date and time based on the limits that have been specified by the administrator. So you'll see in my case that I have half-hour increments between midnight and 11 p.m. Now, the last thing I want to show here is actually for Tharstern users. So if a user that has Tharstern is utilizing our Connect Tharstern plugin, then both the date and the time information can be sent over to Tharstern. So to access this information, I'm just going to go back to our admin area to begin with. And I'm going to go to the Connect plugins screen. From there, we're going to configure our Connect plugin options. Scroll down to the node mapping section. And then we're just going to make sure that this option here is selected. So populate order required date with delivery date. And that will make sure that the required information is sent over to Thorsten. Once you've enabled that setting, make sure you click save.